कि जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, निताय चैतन्य की जय, परशुराम भगवान की जय, वामन देव की जय, गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are doing the chapter number 18. And the name of the chapter is, this is last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And it's called the conclusion, the perfection of renunciation, right? Yeah. And this is called as the perfection of renunciation. So let's take the today's verse, 18.25. Anubandham kshayam himsam anapeksha cha paurusham mohad arabhyate karma yattat tamasamuchyate. That action performed in illusion, in disregard of scriptural injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or violence or distress caused by others, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Okay, let's just understand it word by word. So here, Lord Shri Krishna is talking about work done in three modes of material nature. Can anybody tell me how many modes of material nature are there? Is it one, two, or three? One, two, or three?
Three, Prabhuji.
Three modes of material nature. Okay. So work can be in the mode of goodness, or in the passion, or in ignorance. Am I right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So far in 18.23 and 18.24, we saw the work in the mode of goodness and work in the mode of passion. Okay. So right now we are going to see work in the mode of ignorance. So what is a work in mode of goodness like? Anybody? Like one, can you tell me one characteristic of work of mode in goodness? Work in the mode of goodness.
Without any fruitive this thing.
Right. Absolutely right. So work in the mode of goodness is regulated, which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, without desire for fruitive results. I mean, when I'm working, I don't do it because I want a result out of it. You see, for example, maybe let's say it's not that I want to become famous. For example, if somebody is trying to do their duty, there's government officer, okay, let's say, or even a politician you can take, okay. It's not that the politician wants to make some money or he wants to become very rich, that he's a politician. But the reason why he's a politician is because he wants to serve. He wants to serve the nation. That's like the first agenda. Not that he wants to become rich or he's very attached to the result, right? Simple. It's like that, okay? And then it's just about mindset. So mode of goodness means without attachment for the results. And again, it's not that we hate this, we love this, we hate this, we love this. This is not like that. And it's regulated. Okay, this is the mode of goodness. Okay, that's the mode of goodness. Now, and the most important point about the mode of goodness work is whatever work that you do, you're doing it for satisfaction of whom? For me or for whom? Whose satisfaction is more important?
For Krishna.
Krishna's satisfaction is very important. Correct. Let's see the next verse. That is 18.24. It says the work in the mode of passion. Okay. The work in the mode of passion is performed with great effort. Okay. I'll ask you, like, what is it like? What do you think about the work in the mode of goodness? Can tell me one characteristic. How do we know it's mode of goodness or not?
It's to
Like
it's
you
for
want to
false
earn money and for
to show
yourself
off that we are doing this.
Sorry?
It's for false ego.
Yeah.
Just to
That's a good point. It's for gratifying the false ego. So false ego is like, I'm this, I'm so and so. It's like I am big, I am so and so, I am such a great person. So it's for my satisfaction that I'm going to do it. Because I'm very great, I'm very big. Because I'm very good, I'm very big, I must do this. Okay, this is called work in the mode of passion. And what else? One thing, something else somebody was saying. Amrita Mataji, what are we saying? Any other characteristic?
Accumulation of wealth.
Wanting to gratify your senses.
Okay, we have a point here. Okay, gratifying the senses. That's absolutely right. Gratifying one's desires. I mean, it's like I desire something. That's why I want to get it. Accumulation of wealth. Well, we cannot really classify it as mode of goodness or passion or ignorance. That's the reason. The reason I'm telling you why is, for example, if the government is trying to accumulate wealth or treasury, for example, that's not a bad thing. Government needs to have treasure as per the Vedic scriptures, for example. Or if, for example, the thing is, it's not about whether you're accumulating wealth or not, but it's about whether you're doing it as a duty, that there is some sense of duty, or it's for personal pleasure. That's the point. It's as simple as that. Whatever duty that you're doing, do it. But are we doing it as a duty? A lot of times we forget that it is our duty. We have been appointed for this, and we get a false ego. Okay, I'll tell you one simple example. Okay, let's try to understand this. For example, Krishna gives us family, right? And then the point is, Krishna is the original father for all living entities. Who is the father for all living entities? Who is the father?
Krishna.
Who is the mother for all the living entities?
Krishna.
Nature.
Krishna, yes. So he is the original father, original mother for all the living entities. But for some time, he put some people together in a family. And out of false ego, what do we think? We think that we are the parents. Okay, we may be the parents, but the point is, Krishna has appointed us for certain duty to take care of his children, as if we are the parents. So Krishna is giving his fatherly love, motherly love through us. That's what we have to understand. So it's a matter of duty. It's not that I am the father, not Krishna. This is called illusion. Got that? Is it clear? So when the false ego takes over, you start thinking that you are the one, actually. But factually, it's not right. The living entity has no relationship. It is said one living entity has absolutely no relationship with the other. They're totally independent. Somehow by karma, they have been put together sometime in some place. That's it. Then we, due to false ego, we think, no, I am the father, I am the mother. No, we are just an appointed father or an appointed mother. A living entity has no father, has no mother. Simple example. That's called mode of passion. So in the mode of, so whatever activities that we do out of that false ego, that is called as mode of passion. It is not mode of goodness. And it results in distress. That is why a lot of people are stressed. Okay. So if we simply understand that, no, it's just my duty. Krishna is the original father, and I'm supposed to enact on behalf of Krishna. I'm supposed to do my duty without getting affected by the results. Then we will be happy. Everybody will be happy. So that's called mode of passion. Okay. Mode of passion is one of the another significant characteristic of mode of passion is doing great effort, right? That's called prayasa. Prayasa means like doing a lot of work, right? Lot of work. We see some people working very hard, very hard, very hard. I mean, there's a pattern for it. Why are you working so hard? I mean, is it really necessary to work so hard? Maybe, may not be. I don't know. But that's the characteristics of passion, mode of passion. Somebody working very hard, that's a characteristic of mode of passion. Okay. And what's like the mode of ignorance like? That's today's verse, right? So today's verse, let's go back to it again. It says, the action performed in illusion in disregard of scriptural injunctions and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Now, you see, some people take some actions out of illusion. Right? Some people, what is that illusion like? You see, for example, if somebody is trying to attempt to suicide, or if maybe somebody is trying to harm somebody physically, murder somebody out of anger, out of rage, or somebody is acting very fast. I mean, somebody is driving very fast on the car, in the car on the streets, for example. This is called action performed in illusion. Okay. So whatever is not, you're thinking that it is there, and then you are performing your action. This is called as the action performed in illusion. The first thing is anubandham, kshayam himsam, anapeksha cha paurusham, mohad arabhyate karma yatta tamasa uchyate. The second characteristic that is being given here is disregard of scriptural injunctions. Now, what does that mean? Anyone? What does disregard of scriptural injunctions mean? Can you give me an example for that? Any example for that?
Ravana.
Sorry?
Ravana.
Sorry, I didn't get you, Mataji.
Ravana Prabhuji. They will not abide to the Vedic scripture.
Okay, okay. Maybe you can say, yeah. Anyone?
Is it against Vedic regulations and all, Prabhuji?
Yes, absolutely right.
Like
I mean, not-
going to temple without taking bath and all.
Yeah, good point. The nice one.
Meat eating intoxication, Prabhuji.
Okay, that's also right. That's also right. Absolutely right. That's good. Yeah. Let's take this example. It was a nice example. Mataji said, like, okay, the scriptures say when you go to the temple, you should go clean there. Maybe you should take a bath and you should be fresh, and you should not wear your slippers in front of the deities, etc. There's so many injunctions that are given in the scriptures that when you go to a temple, you have to go take a bath before going to the temple. You should be fresh, wearing fresh clothes, and you should be visiting the temple, and you should offer something to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like that, for example. But somebody who is in a mode of ignorance may not be like taking that very seriously. Okay. Or somebody is, for example, loudly talking in front of the deities, loudly shouting in front of the deities, crying in front of the deities in anger or out of some material feelings. This is all against the scripture. So this is called, again, this is one example. Or you can say, somebody else was saying, what was the other example that was given? Against the Vedic scriptures. Right? So the Vedic scriptures are saying, for example, if violence has to be done, it has to be between two warriors. It should not be against an unarmed person. Somebody who doesn't have the weapons, you cannot attack. And both of the warriors, they must be ready, and they must have challenged each other. They must be having weapons, and they must be ready to fight each other. You cannot go and, just challenge or physically abuse or harass a civilian or children or women, for that example. But you see a lot of people, especially the extremists, they don't care, right? So they will just go and they will be doing violence. So that's what this verse is talking about, okay? It says, without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others. So there is violence or distress that is getting caused to others, but the person is not able to know. Of course, extremist or a terrorist is a stark example that we can understand. A terrorist is harming others, is not understanding what is the harm that he is doing to the other person, and who is doing the activity there. That's a mode of ignorance. Not only extremist, but even if we, for example, if we are causing distress to somebody, even with our words, right? That's mode of ignorance. Don't you think so? What do you say? Do you agree? Words can be very powerful, isn't it? Just simply by stating some facts, you can pull the other person down. How many of you agree? How many of you agree that?
Prabhuji, I have a doubt here.
Yes, please.
we are all fortunate that we were born in very nice families, but there are children who are born in terrorist families, so they will learn that only, no, Prabhuji.
They will learn that only. What else will they
Then
learn?
it is now, what will they do? It is their bad luck.
Yeah, that's it. It's just bad
It's,
luck. That's it.
you may have heard of Dawood Ibrahim, no?
Yeah. Yes.
But his son is religious.
Okay, I
He has,
see.
he has not gone in that route at all.
Okay, there are many examples like that. There are some terrorists whose parents are like terrorists, or some smugglers, or some criminals.
Yeah, you're born
The
in a
children are not
drunkard's
like that.
house, then it's your bad luck.
It's a bad luck. That's right.
You
And
don't do it on your own. You are kind of trained.
yeah, it's the conditioning that comes along with the family. That's right.
So that
Yeah,
is who's responsible for that, Prabhuji?
we are responsible for everything. The individual is responsible.
Yeah, that is karma.
The karma. Yes, karma is responsible. Nobody is
Very
responsible
sad.
for us.
Very, very sad, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, so that's what happens. Mode of ignorance. For example, Indrajit was born to Ravana. Okay. And then he was obviously supporting Ravana. Vibhishana, he was also like brother of Ravana, but he didn't choose to support Ravana. Even though it was very difficult, it was difficult to resist. He could have been labeled as a traitor because he's not helping his elder brother in fighting against Lord Ramchandra. So even the citizens could have called him a traitor, right? That he is a Deshadrohi because he's not supporting his own elder brother. People could have, but still he chose to support Lord Ramachandra. But it takes a lot of courage and a lot of positivity and a lot of willpower, determination to do that. But those people who decide what's right and what's wrong, who understand very clearly, they'll take that action very firmly. Okay. So here is this mode of ignorance that I'm talking about. Let's see one more characteristic here. Okay. Without concern for future bondage. Now, what does that mean? Anyone? Any examples that you can think of? Yeah. For example, yeah. Why can't we say, for example, meat eating? Simple example, meat eating. See, the meat eating, the word mamsa. You know, what does the word mamsa means? Mam means now, me. Sa means he. Mamsa. That means when somebody eats meat, they are giving permission that tomorrow I will be allowed to be killed by this animal and I will be allowed to be eaten by that animal. That's what it means. That's such a deep meaning, isn't it? Mamsa. That means whenever we kill an animal, we are causing a bondage. So that means there is now a relationship between us and that animal because we have caused violence towards that animal. Now that animal has got the right to do the exact same action on us. So that's why it's called mamsa. So that means we are giving a complete, it's like signing a document and saying, I am giving authority to be killed by this animal in future. It's as good as that. So that means there is a future bonding. But then those people who are eating non-vegetarian, they're not realizing that. So that's why it's been said here. For example, here, let me just show you. It says, without regard or without concern for future bondage. So if you're not really worried about future bondage, the activity that you're doing, then it's mode of ignorance. Okay. So I hope you got that. So let's just go a little deeper and just try to analyze what kind of actions are we performing. So it's a time for introspection and reflection. So are we performing most of the time works in the mode of goodness or passion or ignorance? How do you characterize mode of goodness? We said with performing your duty, whatever your profession may be, you do your duty without desire for fruitive results. You're not doing it because you want to be famous. You're not doing it because you want to be rich. You're not doing it because you want to be something. You're doing it just because you must do it. Okay, and you are doing your profession in a regulated manner. Okay, not in an irregular or excessively more or excessively less. And it's not without love or hatred, right? That's mode of goodness. Is that okay? And what's mode of passion? So mode of passion versus mode of goodness is very simple. Mode of passion is about me. It's about my sense gratification. It's not about the duty, right? I'm not like concerned about what am I supposed to be doing. I'm only concerned about what pleases me. And a lot of time, we give a word for this. What is that word? Anybody can say? When somebody talks about that, okay, we should be working in the mode of goodness, we cut it and we say, it's not dash. What's that? We use that word every now and then. Starts with P. PR. No. I'm saying, if somebody says you that, for example, now if somebody tells us that, this is not supposed to be done like this, in the scriptures, it is said that we should do like this. We should act without any attachment or without expectation of result, then we'll immediately strike it off saying that it is not what? This is not practical. So we use that word practical a lot, right? So what practical means is anything which is not pleasing my senses is not practical. Anything which I am not ready to accept is not practical. So I think that whatever I am doing, whatever everybody is doing is practical. So practically everybody is in mode of passion and ignorance. So if we keep using that word, it's not practical, therefore I shall do it. It just simply means that you're supporting yourself doing the activities in mode of passion and ignorance, which are going to cause you a lot of bondage. As simple as that. How many of you are able to understand what I'm saying? Right? So that's mode of passion. The mode of passion is working very hard, right? And then not realizing that you're acting out of your false ego. I mean, it's just for the sake of false ego that I am such a great person. I must do it. I need to do it. So that's false ego. And worse is working in illusion or tamogana. Okay. That's like no concern for Vedic scriptures. Just do whatever you want, call it practical, and just do whatever you think is right and be very violent, hurt everyone, disturb everybody, cause distress to everyone. Don't be concerned about future bondages. Just perform out of illusion. All right. So that was like the summary of work in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay. So thank you very much. Any questions that I can take? Hare Krishna. Or anything that you want to add, please feel free to add. Or any realizations, what do you think about mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance? You can add. Are you able to relate this in your life? Hare Krishna.
My realization, Prabhuji,
Yes, please.
that this kind of knowledge that we are gaining from you, we should have gained it in our childhood itself.
Absolutely right. Thank you.
Like, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's that's what I don't know. Maybe the government should take steps to train our children, future generations. But I don't know what's going to happen. Kali Yuga. That is my
That's right.
realization.
Nice point. Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Even I got the same feeling. Thank you, Mataji. I felt the same. You see, what are they teaching in the MBAs and in the teachers' trainings, in the onboarding trainings for the executives, for the government employees, for students, for politicians? Why don't we have this module to tell them to do work in the mode of goodness? So can you imagine what would be the reaction if you bring all the politicians and preach to them about the work of mode of goodness? Anyone, what do you think they will say? Okay, they will say, oh, so we are not going to follow this. Don't become Abdul Kalam. Something like that.
Hare Krishna,
Right.
Prabhuji, can I just add something?
Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhupada
Yep.
says,
Please,
Hare
please,
Krishna,
please.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhupada says that
Yes, ma'am.
democracy and secular, this thing is not what is meant. You know, like the king takes in your karma and it is supposed to be ruled by a king. And, you know, you have the four division of, you know, the social and the Varna ashram. And because over here there is, he says it's something, you know, like by the demons, for the demons, to the demons. You know, like that is this democracy. So, you know, you can't only blame the government or you can't blame yourself that we have it. Because, see, at the end of the day, even now, like, see, in the class also, Prabhu, when we try to preach, and like you said, practical in the mode of passion, yes, many times, you know, there's so many things we want to do, even in our spiritual life, but we take a step behind because of practicality. Unless you really want Krishna, that, you know, the sleeve, you want to surrender, nahi, sab kuch Krishna hai, sab kuch Krishna hai, mereko uske liye karna hai. Till you get that burning desire to be back to Godhead. We will always be having this practicality, Prabhu, mereko wo karna hai, Prabhu. It starts with your prasadam, it starts with your chant, it starts with hearing, it starts with chanting, and it starts with prasadam. You have to be very strong with this truth. Otherwise, we are very good lawyers for all what we do. I'm sorry. I mean,
Thank
I
you.
feel that. I feel
Yes,
that
yes.
I could be wrong because many a times I also say it's not practical, Prabhu. I have to go out with children. I have to go out and eat out. Why? Because the surrender process. Yesterday I heard in a class, he says, all this, if you make up your mind, Prabhupada says it's not difficult. We all have excuses. I am talking about myself. I asked the Prabhu in class. I said, Prabhu, no, like you said, prasadam har jagah jao, you should only eat prasad. You should not let anybody cook it. I said, no, I have a cook. I go, my children are out. Like they make anything, they send it, Mummy, Papa, lena hai. You know, it maybe my tongue also wants it. The taste of tongue, and it's not prasadam. Then I put some tulsi. These are all shortcuts, Prabhu, because the सबसे बड़ी बात है कि we don't want to surrender. We don't have Krishna as the main goal. We are in and around him, but he's not. We still have Ankul as the main goal, Nandan as the main goal, Prema Mataji as the main goal. Krishna is not the main goal. So all this comes up. We're still in the mode. I'm still in the mode of passion and ignorance. Sorry, I get carried away.
No problem. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for being brutally honest. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for sharing your realizations to your devotees. I hope you learned something from today's verse. So we'll meet again tomorrow for the next verse of Bhagavad Gita. So just to remind you, we have Gita Jayanti on the upcoming Friday, and we are planning to do 700 slokas Bhagavad Gita. And a small appeal to all of you. The thing is, like, this is the Gita book marathon month that's going on. So if you want to please Lord Krishna, if you want to please the spiritual master, if you want to please Srila Prabhupada, please take up this activity of or take up a goal for distributing Bhagavad Gita. Take up any goal. You set a goal that I will distribute this many Gitas, and then take it up. Okay, and distribute Bhagavad Gitas in your neighborhood, to your family, or to your friends. All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.